name is Sharon Sutherland. I'm Executive Director at Mediate BC. And a long-time Mediate BC person. I've been connected with the organization since the mid-90s when it started. And so has Donna, as most of you know. I have had the incredible pleasure of knowing Donna for years and years, and I am just so thrilled to be here to present the Susanna Excellence in Mediation to Donna Soules. So we're going to hear from her nominators in a moment, and they'll give you far more information about Donna, and many of you will have things that you know and cherish about Donna as well. I'm going to say just a couple words about the award itself. This is an award that was established to really recognize excellence in mediation in its broadest terms. It is meant to recognize generosity of spirit, engagement and mentorship, participation in the creation of a world that is more collaborative, that is more supportive of people. And everything about that is so much reflected in Donna's career. And so thrilled, absolutely thrilled to give you this award, Donna. On that note, I'm going to invite Stephen up to say a few words very specifically about why you were nominated, because it's very much why the board of directors was absolutely moved by the letters written.
So, I don't need to tell any of you what a fabulous person Donna is and the contributions that she's made to mediation and ADR as a trainer, as a mediator, as a mentor, as a colleague, and as an author, as a writer of instructional manuals. All of you know that. You've known her for many years, as I can tell. But what I wanted to tell you a little bit about is what Donna means to me. Because I met Donna in the late 90s when I did the JI program. She was one of my trainers, one of many trainers, and fortuitously for me, she was on the island. And I would say that you probably have a role in my career as a lawyer in Canada. Because at the time, I was not sure whether I was going to retrain as a lawyer. I was a lawyer in Africa, and I was looking at other options, one of which was making furniture from driftwood, which I made a cat climber for my cat, and that was it. But when I went to the JI and I encountered people like Donna, I realized that I liked law. I actually liked being a lawyer. I liked the tools that mediation and ADR gave to me, and it completely revitalized my interest in practice in law. Fast forward a couple of years, I'm now in Nanaimo. I'm a very young lawyer, and I get involved in the ADR group that Laura and I co-chair today still. And Donna was the chair of the Nanaimo mediation group at the time. And since the mid-90s, Donna had, with non-lawyer mediators, met with lawyer mediators in the CBA with these collegial CPD educational meetings. And I encountered Donna again. And, you know, that process, Donna, has made me the mediator that I am. I would say that Donna is probably the best pure mediator that I've ever seen in person. The ability to ask the Ken Cloak questions, right? And I learned from Donna that a lot of her training in that area came from Ken Cloak, Mediating Dangerously, to ask the question you don't want to ask. Be comfortable receiving the answer and seeing where it goes. And it took me a much longer time to incorporate it into my own mediation. And I can only ever aspire to have the courage that I see you demonstrate in your training of us and in your mediation of other people. And Donna, it is the smallest gratitude I could express was with Sally nominating you for this award, because you thoroughly deserve it, and you're an inspiration to me and everyone in this room, I'm sure. Thank you so much.
We're going to hear a little bit from Sally as well.
Oh my girl, what a happy day to be here and have you receiving this award. I love this woman. I don't have a clue what I'm really gonna say, but I want to thank Stephen for suggesting that we nominate Donna. So this was Stephen's idea, and I was so thrilled that he came up with this brilliant idea. And I was not surprised. I was just absolutely delighted when she was honored with this award. I've known Donna since I think maybe the early 90s. And 91. And she was working on her master's, and they invited me to be her in the field or something, advisor on her master's. Her mentor, one of her mentors. So I was mentoring her, and I had the joy of mentoring her, and any mentor knows we do most of our learning from our mentees. So Donna came with a full set of skills and gifts and talents and energy and curiosity that she brought. And I remember one of the first things we did as part of her master's program was, although I think it was a little early maybe, but what the heck. We jumped the gate a bit, but it still counted. We had a workshop at Denman Island with about 14 people. I think Ron Munt might have been there, about what is defensiveness? How do we define defensiveness? And I had been teaching and working in this field. I've been surrounded by others doing the same, but nobody really came up with that idea but Donna. And this group put together, a collaborative group working together, Marshall on the flip charts all day long, and came up with a definition of defensiveness that led to training that Donna delivered for years. She basically wrote the book on defensiveness. So, yeah, you did, girl. We had so much fun over the years, and of course, just as a teacher of mediation, there were a couple of things that I really felt were important ideas for mediators. And I'm more like Donna, a little more intuitive, didn't really have the analysis about what I was doing or why I was doing what I was doing as a mediator. But one of the things I felt a mediator had to be was an empathic agent of reality. And Donna embodied that because she has that groundedness, that common sense that just can say, this is what I see. And sometimes that's hard news in mediation. Sometimes that's very, very difficult to speak with people about what really we see going on. She was able to do that with great, deep empathy. And people can learn mediation skills, they can learn theory, but there are gifts, there's an art to mediation that you really can't teach, at least in my view. And Donna had that. You've always had that, girl. And then one more thing I just felt about Donna, a phrase that I used to think of in terms of what makes a really good and powerful and effective mediator: compassionate strength. And to me, Donna embodies compassionate strength. So let's raise a glass and toast to Donna Soules. To Donna. To Donna.
This important chance to hear from Donna herself. So I know the sound is a little bit difficult in this space, but if we can just give her a moment, I really want to hear what Donna has to say. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I want to start off by saying how much I appreciate Mediate BC directors for assimilating all this information and choosing me, because I'm getting goosebumps right now. I never dreamed in a million years I would be standing here or receiving this award, because there are so many people who have done amazing work in the field, like Marge Burdine. And I mean, standing next to Marge Burdine, Oh my gosh. So I'm really honored and privileged, so I really want that message to go back to the board of directors. I really thank Ian Lee and Sharon Sutherland for coming all the way over on the fair today. Lori came from Victoria. Lori was a student of mine, and we had after classes connected, and she's gone on to do great things. So it's really wonderful to see people who you've known, taught, mentored, and rising to really in prominent places. So I'm really grateful for this room full of people. There is not one person in this room that wasn't handpicked. And I think there's, everybody I asked came. It was like, I feel so privileged to be in this position right now. I thank you all for not only things that I've learned along the way, like Sally's teaching. Ron, I'll get to you. And one of the things I used to say to students was every teacher's dream is to have hungry students. And so to have students in classrooms that are really hungry to learn is very exciting. And everybody often asks me, when are you going to stop mediating? And I keep making some decisions to stop, and then last 2 Fridays ago, I decided I'm Marshall, I'm going to retire. Monday morning, I got 3 calls from mediation. On Tuesday, I got 2. And it's just like, how could I say no to that? There's like so much passion and love in doing this work. And the people who have helped me over the time to coach and became instructors, it was pretty special. So I feel honored and privileged to be here. And I hope you're going to be patient with me tonight, because I have to sort of at least say, I'm not going to say last names because we're being videoed, and I also wanted to say what everybody did so they could all meet each other, but I think it'll be here all night. So I'm just going to give first names because I really want to honor the people here and what they've contributed. So it's pretty special. And so I want to start, anybody who's been in my classroom knows I love telling stories. And people have come to me, I see some nodding heads here, people have come to me on the street in Victoria and say, you were my teacher, do you remember that story you told me about X? And so I think stories are long lasting. My family is really, really important to me, and love them dearly. I'm going to start with my mom and dad first, because often students say, well, when did you start mediating? And I say, well, I think it was 7 or 8. I can't really remember. My mother and father, guess where? Around the dining room table at dinner. That's probably where a lot of things get talked about. My father says, tell your mother to pass the potatoes. Then my mother says, tell your father to get milk after work. Then my father says, well, you don't know how those kitchen cabinet doors open. Tell your mother to close it. So this had been going on for a couple of days, and I went stressed to the max. So I decided to try something creative and different. So I went to my dad, and I said to my dad, Mommy told me to tell you she's sorry. And then I went to my mother and said, Daddy told me to tell you that she's sorry. Next dinner, they were talking to each other. And this is a true story. It's a true story, it really happened. They were talking to each other. And I went, this is really interesting. I really thought that was pretty powerful. Well, for the rest of my life from that moment on, I think I have been doing that with people and really valuing how do you bring people together. And so that was my mom and dad's story. And I can remember being at their place once. I was in my 40s, and they would say, Donna, mediate this. So I would say, how long do you want? And my dad would say, half an hour. And so then I would sit down and I would talk with them. And then all of a sudden, I go, it's half an hour. But I'm not done, my father would say. And I would say, sorry, time's up. You got it. So at the best to last, Marshall. Marshall and I will be celebrating, I think, 58 years this. Wow. We would not be together without the Eureka work work I did in my 20s and the JI. And let me tell you, we process. And we process a lot. Processing can sometimes be a pain in the butt because that is not everybody's choice. I'm trying to learn different choices that meet everybody's, besides let's sit down and talk about it. So I'm trying that out, and I got to learn that still. I couldn't be standing here without Marshall in my life. He has read every paper I ever wrote for my master's, every manual. He's the English expertise. So he edited all of my work when I mediated the mediation agreements. So Stephen, I don't know if you knew that, but that's why I write such good agreements. It's because of Marshall. He has been so supportive in times like when I was just talking about divorce material, computer, and I am hopeless on computers. And he has been unbelievably supportive, caring, helping me. Marshall, I love you so much for all the support, care, respect that you've given me over all these years in my career. I would not be here without you. Thank you. One story that I want to share about with Marshall, the divorce material time, but it never did get to divorce material. So we're having a difficult conversation. I think it was about my thesis on defensiveness. And he said, stop doing that stuff on me. And I said, you're right, I am doing that stuff, and I'm doing it badly because I am really, really ticked off and mad right now. So if I stop, what you will get is something different, and it won't be very pretty. Which one would you like? He said, it's a true story. He said, the first one. So, thank you, Marshall. I am actually going to break my rule because there's something, I only have 2 paragraphs left, so bear with me. I know this has been a long speech, and I think it's longer than I timed. It was supposed to be 12 minutes, but it's longer. Sorry, I got carried away. So, in this stage of my life, I just can't seem to stop. And doing this work feels like a privilege, and I'm always surprised at how willing people are to trust me with their conflicts that they're in. The theory about conflict is important, yet being able to embody the skills authentically and wear them like a comfortable coat is ideal. To quote Kenneth Cloak from the other night, he said, "We mediators are training to become saints." I don't know if I agree with him on that. I'm not sure I could get there, but that's what he said. It's a privilege to recognize the incredible organization Mediate BC and by the community of professionals who are doing their best to create a better world. And right now, we so need that. There's a lot of conflict on this planet. We couldn't do it if we couldn't build supportive communities. And I'm talking family and friends and professionals. We need community. And I think that's what will pull us through. That is what this award means to me. I couldn't have done it with all of you. Thank you all for coming in your long journeys and just being there for me on so many accounts I can't tell you. So thank you so much for this.
One thing only. I love what you're saying there about community, and I think I failed to convey to everybody. The main thing that the board recognized, they were recognizing you as a community builder. And did you ever demonstrate that here? What we see here, the love, the community, the engagement, It is so true. You have absolutely demonstrated exactly what people were saying about you. A true community builder, and I want to raise a glass to Donna one more time. To Donna.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. It's a real honor and privilege to have known all of you. And I look forward to till my grave. Thank you.
In person, I've been connected with the organization since the mid-90s when it started. And